Alright guys, welcome to today's video. If you remember in yesterday's video, we had a little unfortunate engine issues and I was left with a choice. I wanted to rent a car because it made the most sense. I didn't want to risk another engine. I wasn't really feeling confident in my chassis. It seemed smarter to take a well-running car that I knew would work well at this track, and I had two choices. I could rent Odie's car again, but it was also being driven by a pro spec driver, which I didn't like the idea of. God forbid one of us wrecks it. Not too good for the other person. Or I could rent Field's car. So sure enough, Field got the guys to bring this thing down last night. Arrived at the track 6 a.m. and we're about to drive this thing. But I'm gonna give you a quick walk around and tell you what I do know about it. This thing's seen some drift laps, that is for sure. I think, was it Trenton that drove it last? Yeah. And then Pat had driven it before that. She's been sitting, she's got some cobwebs. If you can see those dangling around there, but this is pretty much the same exact engine setup as the car that I drove of Odie's here at this track last time, ironically. Nothing crazy, good old S chassis. Gonna throw my tires on it, make some small adjustments, go drive, hopefully qualify high and have some fun. Maybe Field will stop by a little bit later and we can have him give you guys a little bit better rundown on the car, because honestly I know nothing about it. It's got one of those man gearboxes where you gotta, you know, go forward and back and forward and to the right. That's cool. I forgot that this car had a 15 front end, so I just mocked up my front bumper just for giggles. It doesn't look too bad. Kind of gives it a little flavor. Looks like we're gonna need a little bit of trimming for my big boy Nittos. Other side's pretty good because it's already been trimmed. So we're good over here, but the biggest thing we're concerned about, because we were running a bigger tire than this car was really designed around, is weight. So we're gonna confirm the weight with the scales, see if we gotta add a battery or some ballast to it, just to make sure we're not disqualified. James has the magic sauce for getting rid of all the sticker residue. A little bit of heat, a little bit of Griot's track spray. There. So I saw in the comments a couple people were asking kind of how it looks logistically in terms of renting a Pro 1 level car. So I'm not going to share with you the exact price for obvious reasons, but I'm aware of a couple people that have made similar arrangements. Usually it's in the neighborhood of $4,000 to $10,000, and that pretty much just covers the car being at the track. You use your own tires, your own consumables, and if you break anything, you have to pay for it. So it's pretty expensive, but in the grand scheme of things, the cost to bring a car out to a round and...
You're using the wrong camera, bro.
Yeah. This is Johan Vision.
Yeah, look at that. Big.
So I feel like it's important that we document this, because I know a lot of people, Mike, were thinking he was filming in like 4.3 with his nice camera and then putting filters on it to make it look old. Yeah. But no, he's walking around with this. He's a real hipster.
Real hipster. We got it. I got the shot, Mike.
All right. One thing I forgot to mention about this car, it has the craziest like equal length manifold setup. It was one of my favorite sounding cars in FD when Pat drove it. So I'm gonna have the biggest grin on my face even though you guys won't see it while I'm driving. First lap out, the car felt really good suspension-wise. It just started breaking up a little bit. I think we leaked out most of the nitrous because there's a small leak in the line, which means the car was running more rich than it should have, which would explain why it was burbly. So I'm gonna go back out with a little bit more confidence and hopefully the car will do what it needs to do. And I'm crossing my fingers I can get 2 practice laps before going into qualifying so I can make sure I do well. Not stoked about where I'm sitting before qualifying. I feel like I didn't get a single good run in the car. The last one I tried turning nitrous off completely just to make sure that I wouldn't have it run out and have it burble, and I found out that it doesn't make that much power without nitrous, and it didn't even light up the wheels in third, and I did my best, but we got it fixed somewhat for my qualifying run. I'm gonna free up the car a little bit and hope for the best, but I'm definitely not going out there expecting to get the highest qualifying position.
behind the wheel of this vehicle. So Adam LZ is piloting this S14, this supercharged LS vehicle. Unfortunately, Adam LZ suffered a engine failure, called on Matt Field, said, let me borrow that thing.
That car, I believe, won an event here, correct?
Yeah.
Gears of War year?
Yeah, the Gears of War livery.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he won an event in that vehicle, so it's a capable machine. And here we go with Adam LZ. Coming down now, initiating into the big initiation. You can see falling down that bank. Now, Ryan, this is another case where you just get a score, you know, because, you know, who knows what can happen. Just put one in the books. One, that looks like one tire off, but just completely saves it. Almost rotated that thing. Don't know how much seat time he's had in this. As Adam LZ does, he will be getting a score. Yeah,
He pieced it together.
Not the prettiest, but still.
He pieced it together. You know, one of our original judges, Andy Yen, kind of came up with this term called chopping up the course, I believe. And, you know, he was chopping it up a little bit here, and kind of by necessity, probably getting used to the car, just trying to make it happen and get a score so that he doesn't have to deal with the bottom 8. I think he's going to do that. It's going to be a low score, but just by the nature of where we stand with the incompletes and the number of incompletes, it's probably going to be enough to get the job done.
Yeah, Adam LZ, Rookie of the Year in our season last year. It's great to see him. A great addition to the Formula Drift drivers field. Doing it for Dale, got that black livery, the mean black wheels and Nitto tires on the corners. Drift HQ, a new endeavor for them. And there it is, a 65 for Adam LZ.
I'm a little bit bummed. I know I could have done better. Unfortunately, with the car issues and everything, I did the best I could, and I'm proud of the score that I did get. Nick and a couple homies are going to look over some logs, see if we can figure out what's going on with the car. I just wanted to have some fun out there, and right now, like, if the car runs like this tomorrow, I'm going to wish that I just threw that other motor in my S15 because I probably would have felt better in it. But I was kind of hoping that this thing would just rip. Hopefully it's something dumb. It's been sitting for a while, so hopefully we just figure it out.
Yeah, we're working on LS now. We're trying to get used to this. Next year we're gonna run LS something and just come out here and just rip everything up and beat everybody.
You ever heard of a little shop called HGK, Michael? Yeah. Yeah. No reason.
Chassis. Big
Yeah,
E
big
chassis
BMW
guys.
guys. Supras, same thing.
E chassis, not A chassis.
Yeah.
E chassis.
A, E, as long as we're spelling something, you know?
I don't know, that clutch kicker's car.
SHUTUP.
Clutch kicker's car
Low
works
boosty
really
talking
well.
about stuff.
That's an E chassis, so I mean, we kind of want to go in the same direction. Now that that car is somewhat, you know, figured out. We're gonna come next year. We're gonna take Alec Honadell out. Like you had Alec, but it's time for a new champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. These young kids, man,
We gotta teach them.
you gotta let them know.
Sometimes, I don't know.
He's a big VA guy too, but, you know, we know he likes to.
So we're lined up to do my first chase run here. I've been so focused on getting some leads in just because of the car issues and trying to get a feel for it, but since I'm gonna be chasing first, I thought it'd be important to get some chase practice in. Last night, the Drift Cave boys, Nick and my guys got this thing figured out. It actually had 2 failing lift pumps. It has a mechanical fuel pump up front and the lift pumps in the rear were failing, so it was essentially fuel starving the entire time, which is why it was severely down on power and why the throttle response was so junk. So this should be probably the first time I get to drive the car with it actually doing what it should. So I'm excited to go out there and do the best I can. It looks like I'm chasing Osbo first. So I'm gonna go out there, have some fun with it, and do my best. Also, I don't know if it's something that you guys noticed on video, but it was really slow on the line. That kind of came from the throttle response, so every time I shifted, it had like a little weird delay. That, combined with starting in first, wasn't really the best idea, so I'm gonna try starting in second today.
On that last lap, I had all power, but we finally were able to realize that we did not have the right gear in the car, because even though we had full power, the car still was not in its power band, couldn't even maintain drift on the bank, and I think we figured out that we have the correct gear, but it's currently flipped from where it needs to be. So we have about 20 to 30 mile an hour too much wheel speed, and that's why the car can't light up on the bank, and I'm struggling. But unfortunately, it looks like we might get one lap of practice and then we're straight into battle, so I hope we can get it figured out.
Well, good news and bad news. Good news is we found out the problem with the car right before I went out for that last lap. It turns out the car has a program, like they programmed the TPS, so it doesn't open all the way. So even full throttle, it's only like 75% open. And that explains where all the power is going, because the car feels like it makes 200, 300 horsepower less than my S15. I feel like I'm crazy. Now it makes sense. I think it actually is probably making closer to 700, 800 instead of the 1100 that I've basically set up the car for. Unfortunately, it cost me now a very big crash into the wall, and the guys have their work cut out for them before my first battle, and I'm sitting with pretty much zero practice. So, not looking good in my favor. I'm wishing that we just put a different engine in the S15 at this point. I thought I made the right decision, but it was just too last minute for us to properly have time to set up the car, and now I'm kind of paying for that. So I know the guys will do the best to get the car back together, and I'm pretty confident they will be able to, but will the car feel how it needs to going into my first battle? I don't know. car. Hitching a ride with the man himself at his very last, well, I shouldn't say last round of FD for a while.
For a while.
I know.
I'm glad to help you, friend. You've been having a rough weekend.
I appreciate the ride.
Oh, okay.
So the car is almost ready. There's one more battle for us. We might need to call her 5 minutes. The front suspension is being a bit of a pain. The subframe was bent. We didn't have a spare, so they're doing their best to hammer it back, but it's still quite off. I'm gonna do the best that I can. It's starting to drizzle a little bit. The car's still gonna be completely foreign to me. I'm gonna just try to keep in drift and then do the best lead I can and hope for the best. Brighter now. Look how good Colette looks in this outfit. Love it.
What?
Don't worry about it. I was talking
Top or bottom?
Mazda RX-8, Adam LZ in tow. What do we got here? Kyle Mohan will lead. Adam LZ in a borrowed car. How's he gonna fare? Kyle Mohan initiates. Nice on the bank from Kyle Mohan. Big angle from Mohan. As Adam LZ back there quite a bit. Good transition there from Kyle Mohan coming to that second outside zone. Big angle from Kyle Mohan. Sticking it to the wall in that second outside zone and bringing it to that last outside zone is Mohan. And Adam LZ just not in the room.
You know, Kyle Mohan's car looks unbelievably stable relative to how we've seen it in the past. And it was usually twitching around a lot. It looks like he was having a hard time controlling it. He looks absolutely in control of this vehicle out front. He gets right into the big bank, and notice he starts moving high up the wall and stays there pretty consistently. Comes off a little bit early. We see LZ struggling to keep proximity. He's also moving around a little bit. He dives in here, tries to gain some back, but he's on a tighter line here relative to Kyle Mohan, who again, through that inside clip on that first hash mark, does a great job transitioning back around. LZ still not really a factor in the fight, and he is taking a little bit of a shallower line to gain that proximity, which will be a detriment because he didn't get to proximity to get the benefit of doing that.
So I purposely hit the cone. We needed to call 5. We ran out of nitrous after that lap, and we needed time to change it. I guess we just didn't have time while we were doing everything else, so we're putting a fresh bottle in it. It wasn't my best chase ever, but it was the first time I completed a lap, so that was cool. And I'm going to go out and do the best lead I can and hope that it's enough.
We do do see cars having some breakage here from time to time with 1 minute remaining. Does look like LZ will make it, but now we've got Trenton Beecham backed up behind him, also calling a competition timeout.
Here we go, Adam LZ out front, Kyle Mohan in the chase position. Adam LZ, send it. That's 14. Mohan tracking him down. LZ looking a lot stronger here on his second run. Absolutely locked and loaded. The Black Stallion coming down. Ooh, looks like he goes in the opposite. We're going to take a look at that on the replay there, Ryan. Coming off that bank, potentially going off track. Tell you what, those Nitto tires are ripping. Now to that final outside zone. And oh, we got contact.
Well, the nitrous certainly proved to be beneficial there in terms of the speed, but I believe the run will probably be judged as over after the big bank. I think LZ went 3 tires off. It's not going to really matter in the grand scheme of things, because even if not, we saw LZ get out of whack there. Kyle Mohan had nowhere to go, and it looks like that'll be to the fault of Adam LZ, but we'll go back and take a look at it again, Jared. A lot of things happening in that run.
And there it is, Adam LZ knocked out. That'll be the end of his season here in the 2021 championship. Kyle Mohan advances on.
Well, that sucked. I'd be lying if I didn't say I was a little embarrassed by that, but you know what? We didn't give up. We did our best. I didn't crash into the bank, which was what I was worried about most. I held it together. It was probably my highest bank ride with this car. But unfortunately, when I came in, we've been playing with the ratios. I don't know if you guys noticed, I was in third that bank ride. And then I like freaked out because I should have downshifted to second there, left it in third, bogged. He hit me, broke a tire, then went into the wall. I definitely made the wrong call this weekend. We should have put another JZ in my car, but hindsight's 2020. You know, Pat drove this thing like 2 or 3 years ago, said it was the best car ever, and it's sick. But I think I was a little overzealous to think that we could dial it in 2 laps before going into competition, and we might have been better off just sticking with S15. But you live and you learn. Not the way I'd like to end the season, but honestly, I had some fun hitting that cone just so we could change the nitrous bottle.
The buy runs.
Like I said, guys, not the way that I want to end the season, but still, I'm insanely proud of the team, super thankful of all the sponsors, and more than anything, your guys' support. I know I said this in videos before, but all the merch that you guys have got, all the comments on videos, all the people that tuned in to watch, it helps so much, and it's going to help so much moving into next year. I do have big plans for next year. I know there's a lot of speculation on what's going on, and I will tell you that give me a month or so, and I'll be able to make some sort of announcement, and I'll be able to let you guys know what our next year's plan is. But I want to thank the Drift Cave boys for doing everything they could and helping us out by getting in this car last minute. I still had a blast driving it. I know I got to fill you in on what the plans are for the S15 now that it is going into retirement, or should I say into sleep mode. But yeah, more than anything, I just want to thank each and every one of you. The amount of support has been unreal. These 8 rounds have been much more than I could have ever anticipated. FD really is a full-time job, and I have so much respect for the guys that do it every year and compete at the highest level. We've got a lot to talk about. I want to make a little reflection of this season and talk about some of the stuff that I've learned and everything, but it's late. The guys want to go back, and I just want to thank you guys again from the bottom of my heart, and I'm stoked for next year, and I hope you guys are too.
using their own camera, bro. Yeah.
Johan Vision.
Yeah, look at that. They